Welcome back to another episode of Studio 475. I am your host, Tim. Tim Duncan. The Tim Duncan. Fuck number 21. Okay, let's start there, okay? If you think you're the first person that's made that joke at me, like, oh, like the basketball player, are you good at basketball? You're not. And you certainly won't be the last. So you can stop with the Spurs jokes already, okay? I do have a jersey. I wear it every once in a while, but it's kind of big on me now, so I don't really wear it. But yeah, you're not original, okay? Yes, my name is Tim Duncan. I am your host, your curator through this nonsensical journey of episodes. Anyway, I've got some stuff to talk about today. It's been a couple weeks since I've recorded by myself. Get a little vibration. It's been a couple weeks since I've recorded by myself. I've had quite a few guests on. The plan right now is if there's 4 weeks in a month on average, I want to do 2 episodes of me, 2 episodes with guests. Now that might change here or there. Yeah, I have plans that I put in place, but I don't fucking plan stuff. You know what I'm saying? I just roll with it. But I've had a couple of guests on, as you saw last week. I had Cody on, and next week we're gonna have my buddy Marvin on. Man, I need a glass of water. I need a glass. This isn't glass. This is plastic. But I'm gonna be reviewing a movie today, as well as an artist. I put out a couple weeks ago on Facebook that I wanted, what did I want? I haven't started the books yet, or the TV shows, I guess, because I have to decide what I want to start on. But I said I wanted movie request, musician request, or music in general, books, and TV shows. And I was going to, review these once a week. When I'm on by myself, I'd like to do a movie and an artist. Once a month, I'd like to do a book and a TV show. That's pushing it. It may take me longer because I get distracted, and books and TV shows, things that I can't digest in one sitting, are kind of hard to keep my attention. So I'm gonna do my best. I actually have a couple TV shows that I'm watching right now that are really, really good. Oddly enough, I have an Apple TV Plus subscription because I bought the iPhone 11. And it came with Apple TV Plus. Well, I just fucking said that. What am I thinking? But I have that, and I've been watching this show For All Mankind and another show called what is that called? I don't know. I don't even remember. I don't know the names of the people that are in it either. Oh, The Outsider. That's what it's called. It's called The Outsider. Looks really good. I think I've only watched one episode of that though. There's also, I actually don't remember what I was watching yesterday, but it was another kind of creepy show on Apple TV Plus. I need to watch C. C looks really good too. Aside from the fact that Jason Momoa is kind of what every dude wishes he looked like for the most part. Yeah, he's eye candy for both of us, all right? Don't play games with me. Anyway, I am going to review a movie. However, I'm going to take breaks at 20. I take a break at 20 minutes because my camera doesn't fucking record for that long. But I like to preface people with that. But we're going to review Ginger Snaps, and we're also going to talk about the Michael Stanley Band. So we'll just kick it off with a Ginger Snaps review. It's okay, so first off, I don't review shit, really. Or maybe I have opinions, but don't expect anything that's trustworthy, I guess. I have a pretty good taste in things, but I'm going to be talking out of my ass for the most part, or I'm going to assume that. So don't think that what I'm saying is backed by some kind of knowledge or that I know anything of what I'm talking about, because I don't. Anyway, so the movie kicks off. By the way, I watched this movie 2 weeks ago, so I'm going to try to remember this. let's see. It kicks off in the beginning with this scene. By the way, spoilers. So if you haven't watched this, like, fuck off. It's like almost 20 years old. I think it came out in like 2000 or something. But it kicks off at the beginning of the scene with like this kid who's playing in a sandbox and mom's outside. And it like you end up seeing that this dog got like shredded, like ripped to shreds. But it had this kind of like 90s commercial feel to it, where it was like the dog was like laying on the ground and it was kind of like spiraling past him, the camera was, and then like went into the doghouse and it was all dark. But like right off the bat, I will say, for like an early 2000s movie, if not a 2000s movie, the special effects are pretty good. I think they weren't like, I think the setting of the movie like kind of, I don't know. I don't want to say that it just wasn't. That was an opinion. I was going to say that I don't think that the setting of the movie or maybe the plot did the special effects justice, because they could have done like a way cooler movie with that same stuff. But I mean, they made their movie. But yeah, it starts off with that scene with the dog being ripped open. And then it leads into these two sisters that are like super fucking goth and have like this like suicide pact that they've made or something, like when they were 8. And it doesn't seem like the younger sister really like wants to do it anymore, but the older sister's like gung-ho. And they're young girls in high school, and you see the scene with them outside, and like it plays the whole typical high school thing. My first impressions getting into the movie, first off, I didn't know that it was a werewolf movie. Let me just say that. I thought, like, okay, so I guess I should start there. There's like these two girls, you find out they have like this death pact. They look like super goth and shit. And then like the credits intro starts, and it's like all these, it was like a school project that they made of them like being in these like grotesque accidents, like setting up a scene where she had been run over by a car, or like she fell through a fence and there was like fences sticking through her and shit. At first I was super confused. I was like, yo, is this like an undead movie? Is this like a weird, they're trying to like kill themselves because they can't die sort of thing? Because like she was also cutting herself in the beginning, which I'm still confused about. What, in the beginning of the movie, was she actually cutting herself, or was it like special effects makeup that she was like practicing with or something? She had a fucking knife, a chef knife. She's cutting herself with, and there's blood coming out. There's blood coming out and everything. And her sister walks in after hearing about the dog, and like doesn't even say anything about what she's doing. And then she makes the comment like, what'd she say? She's like, I'm gonna cut, like. Or she's like, I'm not going to cut. I'm going to hang. Or no, what'd she say? I don't remember what she said. I think she said she was going to shoot herself, maybe. She told her sister, she was like, you should totally hang. Like, damn, bitch. That's kind of fucked up. It was dark, but whatever. I feel like it was fake makeup in the beginning. But, yeah, they got this weird, like, suicide death thing that they're interested in, but they plan on killing themselves, like by 16 years old, like out by 16 or like dead in a scene is what they say in the movie. Fucking okay. I didn't think I would make it to 25, but I'm not gonna like fucking off myself to make sure that I'm right. Like I'm not making it to 30 because I make sure that I'm not. Well, you get me on a bad day and I'll fucking tell you that I'm ending myself before the age of 30. No, but so. Like I said before, it's like a typical high school scene. So like high school movie starting out. So you see like the whole like cliques and everything. There's one dude like fucking staring at her and shit. Like they're smoking out in the yard. Which by the way, you can tell how old this movie is because there is no way that a student would be smoking like just in the fucking courtyard nowadays. Like that's not gonna happen. At the very least, they're gonna fucking do it walking home or try to hide. They're literally standing in the field. There has to be teachers around or something to see him. I don't even know how they pulled that off. But then, like, so, like, you kind of find out there's, like, a problem. Like, this creature is ripping, like, these dogs are going missing and stuff like that. And they end up getting attacked by this thing, which is the werewolf. And the older sister, I don't remember what her name is, she gets bit. Long story short, she ends up turning into a vampire, but they kind of mix in this whole ordeal with like her being a teen girl and starting her period on top of like her like turning into a werewolf. So she's like not sure if it's like her period. Well, she's getting the two confused actually. Like they kind of play it off like what a girl would feel like at that time, like, oh my god, periods are so gross, like I'm gonna die, this is like, I'm not gonna let this happen. So like, and her mom the whole way was like trying to comfort her and stuff, but she was also turning into a werewolf, so she ended up becoming like, you know, as you're going through your period and hitting hormones and stuff, you become more sexual. So she had started growing interest in boys, but she was also growing feverishly because this fucking lycanthropy. And her sister, who they've always been like this, they're growing apart and stuff. So there's tension there. There's like this drug dealer guy that knows how to make the cure with fucking herbs to inject the sister with, who like the younger sister ends up having a thing with, and then the werewolf girl, where she's half werewolf, ends up trying to sleep with the drug dealer guy. Like, it's an interesting plot, but it's like obviously a 2000s movie. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't super inspired by much of it other than like the nostalgia of like some of the way that the scenes were shot and stuff like that. Like I said, the special effects were pretty good. And also there were certain scenes that I enjoyed that, like I said, there were certain things they did in the movie that I thought would have been way cooler if it was like actually grotesque or like actually scary, but it's got this element to it where the movie seems like it was made for teenage girls that don't like girly stuff but still want something made for them. You know what I'm saying? Like tomboys that didn't have a tomboy thing. You know what I'm saying? So it was like the whole rebel, like, I'm not going to have my period, and like, I'm going to kill myself when I'm 16. Like, I don't think that was a thing. I think that was a them thing, but so it kind of had this like teen girl, like slumber party-ish vibe to it, but some of the scenes were actually really good. A couple of the horror scenes where, like, you know, like it was just super real, and then she was like, I don't even remember it. There was one part where like scenes would flash in and out, and it looked really good. Also, there was one part with the mom who, like, the mom was kind of like kept in the dark the whole time. Didn't really know what was going on with her daughter, but at one point she had left and she was with the younger sister, and she had made a comment to her daughter and was like, we could just go back to the house. Oh, that's what it was. So, vibration. So, what was it? The older sister killed somebody. The younger sister buried the body under the shed. And then her mom was gardening and found the body, got confused, thought that those two had killed him, like killed the person and just like buried the body. So she was trying to cover it up. And she was like, you know what? We could just go back to the house and burn the house down. Just start over new. Me, you, and your sister. And she was like, yo, dad's in the house. And like the mom, I don't know, like everything that was said, I do suggest you watching it for even just this one scene, because I was like almost in tears. It was powerful because the mom's not like a huge part in the movie at all, but she just had this one scene where she was just like, you find out that while all these other things are happening, the mom is also like living her own life in this world, and she like is unhappy with her marriage, unhappy with her life, and she's also having these thoughts like, yo, I can actually just burn the house down with my husband in it and start over. Like that's for me was the pivotal moment at the movie, and I was like, damn. So there was a lot of creativity put into the movie, and I love that it was super original. Special effects were actually really good. They made a movie that they wanted to make, and it didn't seem like they were, you know, swayed by any kind of real Hollywood or like political movements or anything. They just wrote something that they wanted to write, like a crazy werewolf movie that was about teen girls and could relate to that, demographic. They did that, and they did it successfully. And later on, I guess it's like a cult classic now. But there wasn't a whole lot there that inspired me. But that one scene was what like really pushed it for me, and I was like, all right, there's like some life behind who. Not to say that these guys, like I said, not to say these guys didn't do an excellent job, but that one scene with the mom made me feel like there was something more to what they were doing, and I thought they could have, like, if they did another movie, I don't even know. I'm not a film guy. I don't even know who fucking directed it. But if they made another movie at that time with, like, just a different setting that was a little bit more deep, a little bit more depth, and a little bit more serious, they could have done, like, could have been one of my favorite movies. Honestly, if they just did it right, I think that everything in that movie could be awesome, because I'm a fan of like classic. So I'm not gonna be the person that says like, oh, I love like Halloween and stuff like that. Well, I do love those. They're not like on my favorites, but one of my favorite horror movies is actually called The Gate, and it's like a super old cheesy movie where these two kids like open this portal to hell and all these demons are coming through and shit, like, and it's really cheesy with like claymation and stuff, but I like that because it's got some nostalgia factor to it. And this movie did give me a lot of those feelings with the way that it was shot, like I said, with like the 90s commercial like kind of feel to it in the beginning, and even some shots throughout. It did give me that. So excuse me. God. See? Wouldn't be Studio 475 without the burps and the farts. But I don't know. I can rate it like, that's tough. Rating is tough because like I don't want to give a horrible score. Like the way I think, like a 9 is a B. 70 is like a C or a D. 60, well, I'll say 60 is a D, and then 50 is an F. Or a 5. I don't know. I could probably give it a 7. Because I would probably watch it again, but like it's not one of those movies that I like need to watch again. So maybe like, and even for inspiration, I don't think I would ever really watch that movie in particular again for inspiration, because there was nothing about it that like I was like, yo, like I wanna pay more attention to this movie, and maybe, and that's just my opinion. You know what I'm saying? That's all that this is. So if you're into like older, like tomboyish, like kind of like slumber party horror movies, like it's pretty good. I would watch it for that sake. If I was like, trying to have a cute night with a girl where we had popcorn and stuff like that, we were clearly watching cheesy movies that were horror. It'd be an excellent choice. Although it'd be kind of hard to make it past some other ones that are options. But if you're running out of options, you don't feel like watching anything else, Ginger Snaps is like, okay, I can give it a 7. However, it's not, they weren't your typical werewolves, I'll say that. So like if you're watching it for a werewolf movie, expect to be kind of disappointed, because it's not like real werewolf shit. And I want to talk about that later. Anyway, that actually puts us at a good time to take a break. So we're going to take a quick break, and I'm like, we're not really going to take a break. Gotta get a little sippy of the water. Anyway, let's do a little review. Let's do another little review of a Michael Stanley band. I don't know. I'm not gonna have like a lot to say about things that I don't really like go out of my way to listen to. This kind of band, probably not gonna really listen to that much on my own, but it gave me like I feel like it could fill the slot of some people that enjoy like Chicago, but maybe not Chicago. I don't know. That was a horrible example. I don't know. It's like classic. You would hear this in maybe like a bar kind of song. It's like super normal in general. They did They had one really good song. I think it's called He Can't Love You. Yes. I can get down with this. Yeah, I can get down with that. I mean, yeah, that wasn't the right... Chicago's not at all the right word, or the right band, I don't think. What's that, who did the song in, Back to the Future? Wait. Who did the song in Back to the Future? Siri is never a fucking help. I'm going to have to find this out. Hang on. Back to the Future soundtrack. Huey Lewis in the News. Okay, so, like, it's kind of got, like, a Huey Lewis in the News feel. It's one of those type of bands, so... But the problem is, they're not Huey Lewis in the News. That's just the problem. And, you know, I think I do that a lot, but I also keep an open mind that people have, like, certain particular tastes. So there might be, like, the popular or something, and that's, like, kind of the umbrella. That kind of, like, they touch on a lot of different areas, but then you have, like, smaller, maybe bands that have their own particular little thing that they do. I don't know. They've got their own little taste. Everyone's got their own little flavor, but I do think that there's normally, like always going to be the popular standard that kind of encompasses a genre at the time, and I think Huey Lewis in the News just does it for me. So I don't think I would ever really listen to the Michael Stanley Band, but if you like Huey Lewis in the News, which who doesn't, you might like a couple of their songs. And apparently, I do have some interesting news on them, though. If I can find my notes, they did start in Ohio. Oh, I don't have that information anymore. But I do know that they were actually a local in Ohio at one point, so I guess that's kind of cool. But to take it back to what I was talking about before with Ginger Snaps, it's kind of ironic that I waited so long to do this episode to review it, because I recently started playing Dead Island. So zombies, I think you kind of have the trifecta of, like, zombies, werewolves, and vampires. Those are, like, I mean, I guess you could throw ghosts in there too. I think I have to burp. I thought I had to burp. Never mind. I hate that. I hate when burps will, like, come up and just sit right here. Is that called indigestion? Is that, like, normal? Does that happen a lot? Okay, that's weird. We talk about our insides a lot on this show. I care about your insides. I care about your digestive tract. That was so specific. I don't even know where that came from. But you kind of have, like, the trifecta, I guess, like an assortment of those things. So it's funny that I've been playing Dead Island and I just reviewed this. So I had a thought thinking about this, and I know this has been argued for forever, but I want to talk about it. Who would win between vampires and werewolves? I'm gonna look up a list. I have not looked this up before, and I have some opinions that I can make, but I'm going to have something to put in front of me. Let's see if I can find, like, a pros and cons list. Vampires. Okay. God, now I gotta scroll through this. Oh, comparison chart. Okay. Do they have, like, a... Well, right off the bat, the only thing that I can think of scrolling through this is, like, vampires, I mean, they live forever. They, like, don't die. That's the thing about vampires. But lycans or werewolves, they have the same lifespan as a human being. So there's that. Vampires don't shapeshift, so werewolves are able to, like, go back and forth between their shapes, which is kind of dope. They can also become... Oh, no, they can't. That's the other tough thing is, like, what is the general idea of, like, a vampire or a werewolf? Like, because, you know, you have different things, like in Skyrim. Vampires can turn into, like, that vampire lord thing where it's like a fucking demon thing. There's certain werewolves that, like, can turn into a werewolf, a human, and a dog, or a wolf, just a wolf, not a werewolf. So, let's see. It's kind of tough. Although I will say, like, it's tough. So vampires live forever. I've been quiet for a little bit, I feel like. So I was digesting some information. Shut the fuck up. I feel like vampires can live forever and they can fly. But also, fucking, can't vampires, like, turn into bats? So are they not shapeshifters? Because I thought that was a thing. I thought that vampires can turn into bats. All right. So I don't know. We're kind of making up our own rules at this point. I think that they should both be able to shapeshift. Because that's, like, the classic vampires turning into bats thing. It's in Toonsylvania. You're gonna tell me that Toonsylvania isn't canon? You're a liar. You're just wrong. You're just not correct. Okay. I think they should both be able to shapeshift. Clearly, vampires are immortal creatures. So, I mean, they have to be killed. Werewolves, on the other hand, are, like, clearly super fast, super strong. Their skin, they can only really be killed with, like, silver and, like, stakes, right? I think it's just silver for the most part. But they have a lifespan. They don't. So if you could create an immortal werewolf, well, I mean, I wonder if you can make a vampire werewolf. I wonder if the genes themselves or, like, the DNA is actually able to, like, work together. These are obviously fucking, like, fictional things, by the way. I'm sitting here trying to justify whether or not fucking vampires and lycanthropy vampires, can, like, you know, work together. But if I think vampires win out against werewolves. If they're against human beings, I think that werewolves are going to win because vampires seem so vulnerable to, like, just, like, holy crosses and holy things, holy water. The only thing that's going to take a werewolf down is, like, probably cutting its head off, which it's apparently their skin is, like, pretty tough or whatever, but I kind of don't believe that either because, like, in Ginger Snaps, you saw one get ran over and it just fucking died. But they also have, like, super healing, so I don't know. I kind of feel like they're stronger than that, but they're not superhuman. If they get hit by, like, a high velocity truck, they're still gonna get fucking blown over and, like, you know, fucking smeared to shit. So I think if you had an immortal werewolf, it would win tops against humans. But I think vampires are always going to beat werewolves because, like, you have to be like, well, I don't know, because they have the benefit of both. They can also be human form and, you know, and use crosses and shit against them, but, like, their werewolf part isn't really going to do as much, and they're not as strong as a werewolf if they're really trying to protect themselves. So I don't know, it's tough. Like, I'm like playing out this fight in my head where, like, the guy starts as a werewolf, he's like, this isn't fucking working, and, like, turns into human, like, tries using holy water and crosses to kill the vampire. Vampire knows that he's still threatened because it's whether or not he's human form right now, he's still a werewolf, and he's way weaker if he's like in his human form, so he's gonna try harder to kill him in that form. So werewolf's gonna be forced to stay werewolf form. Like, I think against humans, werewolves got it. If they're fighting each other, vampires are gonna win. And I hate to say that because I think werewolves are so much fucking cooler. I think the ideas of vampires have like been destroyed. Okay, I've seen like two versions of cute like werewolves. You've got Teen Wolf, and then you've got that other like kid show where the kid like kind of dresses up as a werewolf. I don't remember what it is. Teen Wolf's also a fucking awesome show. Movie, whatever. Love Michael J. Fox, by the way. It's so funny that I was just talking about Back to the Future. It's just, it's how shit works. Moving in circles. It's kind of weird. What else did I have to talk about? The coronavirus apparently is like spreading naturally in California. I briefly went through an article, and I saw that it is actually we've confirmed the first like community occurrence in California, which I'm pretty sure means that it's like naturally occurring as a destination, or like the point at which the virus spread kind of thing. So that's a thing. And that kind of leads me to talk about, like, I saw this thing the other day. My buddy Curran showed me. It shows, like, years and then the thing that we were worried about. And it seems like, if not every year, every other year, we have something that is, like, going to kill us. Actually, it's probably, like, every year. I think he listed off, like, almost every single year except for a couple. But, you know, we have, like, all these different things, like Ebola, E. coli, bird flu, swine flu, back in the day, it was AIDS, like forever ago. I don't know. It's just kind of like weird to me how things get taken out of proportion. And yes, they should be. It makes me wonder if it's really the media doing it, and people like that's fact, and people are right. Like the media is pushing like these problems and stuff like that to take our attention off, or is the media actually just doing its job correctly, and the people consuming are taking it out of hand? And I think that this is like a really interesting topic, because I talked about this last week with Cody about like memes and stuff like that. Sharing false articles, you could be super educated or think that you're super educated, but the problem is the internet is so fucking wide and offers so much different information. Like, at some point, like I'm gonna talk about both sides of it. You're either gonna have to just trust with your whole gut that the source that you got your information from is actually true, and just stand by it until you've actually been proven otherwise, or you should just assume that you can't assume that there's no real facts on the internet. So I understand that, but the internet is just so wide, it's hard to know what's like really a problem now, and then to know what to do with it afterward. I don't know. So it's kind of like yelling fire. And I said that last time, but like, sharing fake news and stuff like that, I forgot where I was going with that, actually, for a second. What was I saying? Coronavirus. I mean, there's that. But, fuck. Oh, that's what I was saying. There's always a thing. There's always something to worry about, and, like, it gets blown out of proportion, and we're just worried about it killing us, or, like, doing this, that, or the other. It makes me wonder if it's, like, the people doing that, or if it's actually, like, the media or, like, government or whatever. But, assuming that this kills us like we always do with, fucking whatever flu came out, or Ebola, E. coli, whatever it is. What would I do in the event of the zombie apocalypse, since I've been playing Dead Island? That's tough. Well, I have my buddy Hal. I don't even know if like Hal still remembers me, but he has a house that's like totally off the grid. Has like his own electricity, his own power and everything. He's got like a huge garden in the backyard. He's got like animals and stuff that like livestock. I would go to like his house first because I want to go somewhere that you can live totally off the grid, like completely. If I didn't have that, I don't really have guns or anything. So I would probably barricade my house super, super well. And try to make it down to Meyer, like, because I live like two blocks. I live like 2 blocks away from a Meyer. I'd probably want to get down there and try to get some food, but I really don't know what I would do other than that, aside from try to get a hold of Hal. Well, I wonder, do you guys think the electricity field is going to go down before like the zombie apocalypse? If someone's actually doing the apocalypse on purpose, I'm going to assume that they'll just like try to destroy the whole electric field so like we don't have like electricity or anything. But yeah, I would try to contact him if I still had like cell phone service and shit like that. I would try to get fuck. I'm just thinking about that, like all the people I wouldn't be able to get a hold of in that time. Damn. Would you guys wait for letters? Well, like who's going to run the mail? Fuck. Shit. I'd probably try to get a hold of Hal, and I'd go see my family. And then I'd barricade the house up. But there's so many people. There's so many people I would want to barricade the house with. Fuck. I got to assemble a dream team. Okay? That's what I'm going to do for the next episode. Okay, I'm gonna assemble a dream team of people that I know that we could fucking take on the zombie apocalypse with. We don't have reasons, okay? I've been playing lots of Dead Island, okay? Plenty. So I'll have plenty of classes for people to fill. Anyway, how would you guys escape the zombie apocalypse? Would you try to barricade your house up or whatever with your family or whatever? Would you try to get your crew? Get your squad together, like, playing fucking Fortnite. Dude, I think there would be so many people that would treat like Fortnite, like, I mean, it would kind of be like Fortnite, actually. That's kind of scary. Wait, is Fortnite preparing us for the end? Fuck. Fortnite's kind of preparing us for the end. I'll leave you on that thought. If you like the show, please leave a like, a subscribe, follow. I don't know where the fuck you saw this. It's basically only on Anchor, Spotify, SoundCloud, and YouTube. I'm trying to get on Apple Music. It's kind of a pain in the butt. But you can find the show at The Studio 475 on Instagram. You can also find the Facebook page on Facebook. That's basically it. You can find me on Instagram as the Tim Duncan. And then my name's Tim Duncan. And this has been Studio 475.